The Galactic Military Academy's shooting range buzzed with nervous energy as cadets from 17 different species prepared for their marksmanship evaluation. Alexander Chen adjusted his standard-issue plasma rifle, watching as his fellow trainees prepped their weapons. The Zephyrian beside him extended razor-sharp talons to steady his grip, while a crystalline Vorthak cadet calibrated multiple targeting sensors that sprouted from its geometric head. Then Norah Martinez walked in. Every conversation stopped. The human female carried what looked like an antique, a primitive projectile weapon that belonged in a museum, not a military academy. Where others had sleek energy weapons with holographic displays and auto-targeting systems, she cradled a worn rifle with wooden furniture and iron sights. "Is that metal and wood?" sneered Kexvar, a towering Draknari whose species had conquered 3 star systems before humanity had even invented gunpowder. His reptilian features twisted in amusement. "Does it fire actual bullets?" Norah said nothing, simply walked to the far end of the range, the 1,000-meter line where only the Academy's top marksmen dared to shoot. "Typical human arrogance," chittered Zix, a mantis-like klaxon whose compound eyes could track objects moving at near light speed. "They think their primitive weapons make them special." Alexander felt his jaw clench. He'd known Norah for 3 months now, and while she was quiet, she was far from arrogant. She simply knew things about trajectory, wind patterns, breathing techniques that the other species' advanced targeting computers calculated automatically. Instructor Vector, a battle-scarred Thorn veteran with cybernetic implants covering half his face, called for attention. "Today's evaluation is simple. 5 targets at varying distances. Maximum points determine final rankings." His mechanical eye whirred as it focused. "Begin when ready." The range erupted in a symphony of advanced weaponry. Plasma bolts sizzled through the air with perfect accuracy, guided by AI-assisted targeting. Particle beams carved through distant targets with surgical precision. Crystalline projectiles phased through intervening obstacles to strike their marks. Alexander managed 4 hits out of 5, respectable for a human. Around him, other cadets achieved similar or better results, their weapons technology compensating for biological limitations. Then came Norah's turn. She settled into position with fluid grace, her body becoming perfectly still. No targeting computer hummed to life. No holographic display calculated wind speed and bullet drop. She simply raised the ancient rifle, her eye finding the scope. The first shot rang out, a sharp crack that seemed impossibly loud after the whining of energy weapons. 1,000 meters downrange, the target center disappeared in a small explosion of synthetic material. Murmurs rippled through the watching cadets. "Lucky shot," they whispered. The second shot followed, another perfect hit. By the third shot, the murmurs had died. By the fourth, absolute silence reigned. When the 5th target disintegrated in a spray of debris, several cadets' jaws hung open. "Impossible," breathed Kexvar. The atmospheric density, the gravitational variance, the Coriolis effect. How did she calculate all those variables without a computer? Instructor Vector approached Norah's position, his expression unreadable. Alexander strained to hear as the grizzled veteran leaned down to examine her weapon. "Fascinating," Vector murmured, his voice barely audible. "I've seen this setup before." He paused, his mechanical eye clicking as it refocused. "Only snipers use modifications like these. Real snipers." Alexander caught fragments of their conversation. Hand-loaded ammunition, custom trigger assembly, calculated for this world's specific gravity. Norah finally spoke, her voice steady. "My grandfather was a Marine Scout sniper. He taught me that technology fails but skill endures." Vector straightened, addressing the assembled cadets. "Before joining the academy, I served with human military units during the Kepler campaign. I watched a single human sniper hold off an entire Zephyrian assault battalion for 3 days. His gaze swept the room. No targeting computer. No energy weapon. Just knowledge, patience, and a rifle not unlike this one." The instructor's cybernetic implants whirred softly. The Galactic Council wondered why humans insisted on maintaining their primitive infantry training alongside our advanced warfare techniques. "Today you have your answer." Kexvar stepped forward, his earlier mockery replaced by genuine curiosity. "But surely our technology is superior. My rifle can compensate for environmental factors I cannot even perceive." "And when it fails?" Norah asked quietly. "When your power cells drain, Or you're targeting computer malfunctions, or the enemy uses jamming technology? She ran her hand along the rifle's wooden stock. This weapon has no electronics to fail, no power source to deplete, just physics, mathematics, and the shooter's skill. Alexander watched his classmates exchange glances, understanding dawning in their alien features. They had dismissed human stubbornness in clinging to outdated methods as primitive pride. They were beginning to realize it was strategic wisdom. Instructor Vector announced the scores. Norah had achieved perfect marks, the first perfect score in the Academy's current session. But more importantly, she had demonstrated something that would stick with every cadet present. As they filed out of the range, Alexander heard fragments of conversation in a dozen languages, discussions about backup systems, redundancy planning, and the importance of fundamental skills that didn't rely on technology. Norah packed her rifle with the same quiet efficiency she did everything else. Alexander approached her. "Where did you really learn to shoot like that?" She smiled, the first genuine smile he'd seen from her. "Montana. Population, 1,200 humans and about 1,000,000 acres of wilderness. When the nearest hospital is 300 miles away, you learn to make the first shot count." Walking back toward their dormitories, Alexander realized something profound. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations had spent millennia perfecting technology to overcome biological limitations. Humans had spent millennia perfecting themselves to work with those limitations. And in a universe where technology could be jammed, disabled, or destroyed, that made all the difference. Behind them, Instructor Vector made a note in Norah's file. "Recommend for Advanced Reconnaissance Division. Natural sniper. The kind that wins wars. The kind that reminded the galaxy why humanity, despite arriving late to the cosmic stage, had earned its place among the stars not through superior technology, but through superior adaptability, and sometimes that was enough."